The Parker family's annual business meeting always took place in my Uncle Richard's penthouse office, 49 stories above Manhattan. This year, however, was different. This year, I had a perfect view of my revenge from his floor-to-ceiling windows. "Let's address the elephant in the room," Uncle Richard began, standing at the head of the conference table. "Our family's reputation has been tarnished by certain members who refuse to uphold the Parker standard of excellence." All eyes turned to me. Emma Parker, the family disappointment, sitting quietly at the far end of the table in my simple black blazer, which my cousin Sophia had already sneered at, whispering loudly about outlet store fashion. If only they knew this outlet store blazer was custom-made in Milan. "Emma," my uncle continued, his voice dripping with practiced disappointment, "it's been 5 years since you left Parker Financial. 5 years of what exactly? What do you have to show for your rebellion?" I thought about the documents in my briefcase, about the gleaming 60-story building across the street, its windows still covered for tomorrow's grand unveiling, about the name that would soon be illuminated against the Manhattan skyline. "I've been working on some projects," I said mildly. My cousin Blake, recently promoted to Senior VP of Parker Financial, couldn't contain his snort. "Is that what you call hiding in your apartment playing with computer code?" "Some project." 5 years ago, I'd walked away from my executive position at Parker Financial to start my own technology company. The family had never forgiven what they saw as a betrayal of our 100-year legacy in finance. "Emma," my father spoke up, not quite meeting my eyes, "we're worried about you. All these years wasted on this hobby. It's time to come back to the real business world." The real business world. Like Parker Financial's struggling attempt to modernize their trading systems. Like their declining market share as tech-savvy competitors left them behind. Like their desperate need for the very innovations I'd spent 5 years perfecting. "Actually," I started, but Uncle Richard cut me off. "No more excuses," he declared. "You're 32 years old. While your cousins are handling billion-dollar portfolios, you're doing what? Writing apps in your pajamas." More snickers around the table. My cousin Sophia tapped away on her phone, probably sharing the family drama with her socialite friends. "Richard," my mother attempted to intervene, "perhaps we should dash." "No, Caroline," he silenced her with a wave. "This needs to be said. Emma, you're nothing but a failure. A disappointment to the Parker name." I felt my phone buzz in my pocket. A message from my assistant. "Final inspection complete. Building ready for tomorrow's unveiling." Perfect timing. "Do you know what your cousin Blake accomplished this year?" Uncle Richard continued. "He closed a $300 million merger. Sophia's department generated $150 million in new investments. And you're probably still living off your trust fund. If only they knew that I'd turned down that trust fund 3 years ago. That I'd built something worth more than Parker Financial's entire portfolio." "Actually, Uncle Richard," I said quietly, "I did want to discuss my recent work dash." "Recent work?" Blake interrupted. "Please. We all know you haven't done anything meaningful since you abandoned the family." My phone buzzed again. "My CFO this time. Stock certificates transferred. You now own controlling interest in all target companies." I glanced out the window at the covered building across the street. In less than 24 hours, my name would shine from its summit, visible from every corner of Manhattan's financial district, including this very office. "Emma," Uncle Richard's voice softened with fake concern, "this little rebellion has gone on long enough. It's time to accept reality. You're nothing without the Parker name behind you. Nothing." The word echoed around the room. The same word they'd used when I resigned. When I turned down the trust fund. When I started my company with nothing but my savings and a revolutionary trading algorithm. "Perhaps you're right," I said, watching Sophia roll her eyes at my apparent surrender. "Perhaps we should discuss my future at Parker Financial." Uncle Richard smiled triumphantly, finally seeing sense. "We might be able to find you an entry-level position. Something suitable for your limited experience." My phone buzzed one final time. The message I'd been waiting for. "All systems go. Building lights tested and ready. Your empire awaits, Ms. Parker." I thought about the press release scheduled for tomorrow morning. About the business headlines that would shock the financial world. About the look on Uncle Richard's face when he realized that his nothing of a niece had built something bigger than he could imagine. Before we discuss my position, I said carefully, there is one small matter I'd like to address. Of course, Uncle Richard waved magnanimously. Though I should warn you, salary negotiations for junior positions are quite limited. I smiled, reaching for the cord to the motorized blinds. Actually, Uncle Richard, I was thinking of something a bit more visible. The entire family was about to learn that sometimes nothing becomes everything. And sometimes the best revenge doesn't need words. Sometimes it just needs the perfect view. I pulled the cord and the motorized blinds began to rise. Early evening sunlight streamed into the conference room, and for a moment, everyone squinted against the brightness. Emma, Uncle Richard sighed impatiently, what are you dash? The words died in his throat as the construction covers on the building across the street began to fall away, revealing gleaming glass and steel beneath. Floor by floor, the facade emerged, each window reflecting the setting sun like liquid gold. What's happening? Blake stood up, moving closer to the window. They weren't supposed to unveil that building until dash. And then they saw it. At the very top of the 60-story tower, illuminated in letters 20 feet high, Parker Technologies. Beneath it in slightly smaller text, founder and CEO, Emma Parker. The silence in the room was absolute. Even Sophia had stopped texting, her perfectly manicured hand frozen above her phone. That's... My father's voice cracked. That's your company. I smiled, taking in their shocked faces reflected in the window glass. The very same. Though I suppose hobby might not be the right word anymore. Impossible, Uncle Richard whispered. That building, that's the new tech hub everyone's been talking about. The one that's supposed to revolutionize financial trading. The one that just acquired controlling interest in 6 major financial institutions? I pulled out my tablet, sliding it across the table. Yes, that's us. Would you like to see the portfolio? Blake grabbed the tablet, his face growing paler as he scrolled through the numbers. 10 billion in assets. 15 major patents. Trading algorithms licensed to. He looked up, horror dawning in his eyes. You own half of Wall Street. Half of Wall Street's technology infrastructure, I corrected him. The other half is still running on outdated systems. Like, for instance, Parker Financial's trading platform. Uncle Richard collapsed into his chair. The merger offers we've been receiving. All from shell companies owned by Parker Technologies, I confirmed. I wanted to see how many times you'd reject your own niece's attempts to save your company. Save our company? Sophia's voice rose an octave. Parker Financial doesn't need saving. I pulled up another document on my tablet. Your second quarter earnings report suggests otherwise. Your technology is 10 years behind the market. Your biggest clients are jumping ship to more innovative firms. And your attempt to develop an AI trading system has cost you millions with no results. How do you know about that? Uncle Richard demanded. Those reports are confidential. Nothing is confidential from the company that built your security infrastructure. I turned back to the window, admiring my name against the darkening sky. Did you really think I spent 5 years doing nothing? My phone buzzed, a message from my COO. Stock market closing bell in 3 minutes. Ready to announce the acquisitions. You see, I continued, while you were all laughing at my computer code, I was building the most advanced financial technology company in the world. While you mocked me for hiding in my apartment, I was developing algorithms that make your trading systems look like ancient history. I stood up, walking to the window. And while you were calling me nothing, I was becoming everything you claimed to be but never were: innovative, forward-thinking, successful. Why? My father asked quietly. Why didn't you tell us? Would you have listened? I turned to face them. 5 years ago, I tried to tell you that financial technology was the future. That Parker Financial needed to evolve. What did you say, Uncle Richard? He wouldn't meet my eyes. You said, and I quote, leave the real business to people who understand it. Well, I understood it better than any of you. I saw where the industry was going while you clung to your outdated methods and family legacy. My phone buzzed again. Market closed. Press release going live in 60 seconds. Right on cue, phones around the table began to chime with breaking news alerts. Blake was the first to read it aloud, his voice shaking. Breaking. Parker Technologies announces acquisition of 6 major financial institutions. Industry insiders call it the biggest tech takeover in Wall Street history. No, Sophia whispered, scrolling frantically through her phone. No, no, no. More headlines flashed across their screens. Emma Parker, the tech genius who revolutionized financial trading. Parker Technologies valued at $50 billion after latest acquisitions. Wall Street's new queen. How Emma Parker built an empire while her family wasn't looking. By the way, I added casually, those acquisition announcements include a hostile takeover of controlling interest in Parker Financial. The board voted this morning. Uncle Richard lunged to his feet. The board would never dash. The board already did. I cut him off. They were quite impressed with our technology demonstration, particularly the parts that showed how far behind Parker Financial has fallen. I walked to the conference table and picked up my briefcase. Effective immediately, Parker Financial will be restructured as a subsidiary of Parker Technologies. All executive positions will be reviewed and most will be eliminated. You're firing us? Blake's voice cracked. From our own company? Not your company anymore, I corrected him. Consider it my entry-level position. You can't do this. Uncle Richard's face had turned an alarming shade of red. We're family. Family. I laughed. Like how you treated me as family all these years. Called me nothing? Mocked my work? Dismissed my success. I walked to the door, then paused. Oh, and Uncle Richard? I'll be needing this office. My tech team thinks it would make an excellent server room. The chaos behind me was spectacular. Sophia was crying into her phone. Blake was frantically calling his broker. My father sat silent, staring at my name illuminated across the street. My mother caught up with me at the elevator. Emma, please. We can fix this. Come back to the family. I stepped into the elevator, turning to face her. Mom, I never left the family. I just built a better one. As the doors closed, I heard Uncle Richard's anguished cry as more news alerts hit their phones. Parker Financial stock price plummeting while Parker Technologies soared. Outside, my driver held the door to my car. To the office, Miss Parker? I looked up at my building, my name shining against the night sky. James, take me home. My phone buzzed one final time, a message from Uncle Richard. We were wrong. Please, let's talk about this. I deleted it without reading further and looked back at his office window. He stood there, silhouetted against the light, watching his empire crumble while mine rose across the street. Sometimes the best revenge isn't telling someone they're wrong. Sometimes it's letting them see your name in lights, shining so bright it blinds them to everything except their own mistakes. And sometimes, being nothing is just the first step to becoming everything they never thought you could be.